stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Yeah, didn't that work a lot better? It did for me. I like that. So from now on, I will be opening at 5 minutes early for people to get on. I'll be using that ticker. That way I can come on and just start going for my rewatchers. People know that they can just, rewatchers, you can just fast forward through that 5 minutes if you want. Thank you, Mandy, for giving me a very simple solution to a problem that was bothering me for 3 years. Maybe I just wasn't willing to listen, right? Right? That's one thing about us men, but we're going to be talking about men's mental health today. This is not an easy topic in any form. It doesn't matter how we talk about it, which way we approach it. It's a tough topic. Nobody wants to talk about it. I do, though. And I got a feeling that maybe there's some other people out there, maybe some men, even women, that may misunderstand, misconstrued. All right. There are some things that we have to cover while we do this. It's called qualification. First off, welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your recovered, emotionally male host. If you're here, please say hello. Chris and Gary, I already have. Good to see you both. I was hoping some women would jump on too. But this is kind of for the men. It is because we haven't been allowed. Okay? Here's the thing. Mental health never goes away. Okay? If you have depression, it's kind of for life. Okay? Until you start to learn how to work with that. I have depression. And you guys see me get depressed. Do you see me do anything about it? No, I still come on and let people know I'm depressed. No, it's not a big deal. So I'm a man that's sharing my emotions and people are willing to listen. So what has happened to me? What changes did I have to make? Because yes, I can come on here and say, and I can point fingers, and unfortunately we're going to have to do a little bit of that today. Okay. So, you know how it is. Growing up for us men, we were not allowed to have emotions. So us Gen Xers, us baby boomers, and even some of us millennials were brought up around a child is seen, not heard. And if a child is heard, you're going to get put to work. Okay? And as a kid who was very attached to his mother and needed her, that didn't work out very well for me. Okay? Can we blame our parents? No. The time for blaming parents and other people is over. That is one thing men need to stop doing automatically. Okay? But there's been something done, and whether it's systematic or not, I don't know. Okay? But I'm going to tell you something. You took away the Boy Scouts. That was bad. So the first thing that actually happened was back in the early 90s when the Boys Club of Denver became the Boys and Girls Club of Denver. But the Girls Club of Denver did not become the Girls and Boys Club of Denver. The Boy Scouts had to start letting girls in, but the Girl Scouts were not letting boys in. Why is this? They don't want you to have your space. Okay? There's a lot of people out there that I think just don't understand that men go through a lot. We're put up on these pedestals that we can sometimes never ever reach. Here's the main thing. You weren't taught. You weren't taught how to live a healthy life. You were not taught how to deal with your emotions because you weren't allowed to have any. So when we do start having emotions, the things that goes through our mind is, well, I'm a weak fuck. That's right. It's exactly what goes through our heads. Man up, grow a set of balls. You know. So why is it important that the Boy Scouts remain the Boy Scouts? Because it does not matter. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. It does not matter whether a boy likes girls or boys. He still needs to learn to grow up. He still needs to be able to share his feelings because they're going to be taught at a young age that you young male, even though you don't feel like you're a male, and that's okay too. You're allowed to have that, okay? But there are things that we learn in Boy Scouts that we cannot learn with girls around. Hey, Ellie, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I got a good background going on. Love you. Been a while. Been a while. I was just discussing how some of the things have kind of been taken. Okay. Now, what was the need to put girls in Boy Scout? What was the real actual need of that? What are we going for? Because that's not equality. That's division. Okay. So if the Boy Scouts had to let in girls, why didn't the Girl Scouts let in boys? We all know why. Because boys they're stupid little immature bricks. Oh, so we should bring the girls into Boy Scouts because then they'll act different? Yes, they will. And then they will not learn the things that they need to learn. I'm telling you that. All that has to do with is the fact that women don't feel like they have their place when actually women are on fire when it comes to mental health. Good for you. Okay? I'm not going to discredit somebody else for doing better. Not going to do that just because we aren't. Okay? But I have seen some things. Right? Go to a treatment center. Look for a man working there. You'd be hard pressed. You'd be hard pressed. No, usually men that work in the field are usually in detox. Drivers. Maintenance men. People, or I guess maintenance people. If we're going to keep it even, right? So if everything's even, then how come every ad I see is geared towards women's mental health? Even RCOs, okay? There's one RCO and they have a men's meeting that's fantastic, but it's called Bullshitting. That's the actual name of the men's group. Why bother? Why bother? Why? Listen to the name of the group. I wouldn't go. You're going to sit around and bullshit? This is like the total opposite of what I'm actually looking for. What, you think men's mental health is sitting around bullshitting? No. That's the game that we play to avoid our feelings. How you doing? I'm good. Nope. Wrong. They're not. They're not. Good. And since I'm more of a solution-based person, I'm not ranting on this, and I'm not going to put, things down, but there is a limit. There's a limit. We're systematically being told not to share our feelings. Okay? And I understand women go through stuff too. Things that I don't understand. Guess what? So do men. We go through stuff you don't understand. Because you're female. You can't understand it. That'd be like me saying, oh, I know what it's like to be pregnant. Well, then why not give us that same leeway? We're not all mechanical beings that can just be pushed around emotionally all the time because we're okay. We always got to be okay. And that's not a sustainable way of life. I must be positive and happy and 100% perfect at all times because everybody's watching. Yeah, everybody's watching. So be you. Be you. Start sharing your damn feelings. Okay? I've actually been complimented on when I went and did the speaker meeting it was a month ago now, Dion, a few weeks ago. Right? When I was done, I came down and the guy that runs the speaker meeting came up to me and said, hey, Dion, I need to talk to you. He said, a lot of times men come in here, they tell their stories, and it's just so static and honestly quite boring. And I thought tonight, yay, great, here's another man, and we're just gonna hear him blowing smoke out of the side of his head. But you didn't do that. You blew me away. Thank you. See, when it comes to men's mental health, no one wants to be first. So I'll be first. I'll do it. I don't mind. I've done a lot of work on myself. I may even cry here. Oh no. In fact, my eyes are already misty. I cry all the time. Cry all the time. Sometimes I just start crying because I'm grateful. What are you crying for? I'm just happy. Hey. But that took a lot of work. It took honesty, and honesty that I didn't know I had. I didn't know I had it. Okay? And I love going to AA too, Chris. I love it. But it's not enough. It's not enough. No. Gotta go therapy too. But notice I'm not giving you an either or. I have found no other way. Okay? And I have been doing this a long time. Okay? I've been talking about my feelings and what's going on with me since I was small. Okay? Since I was really, really small. And growing up, I was a small kid. Okay? I was the youngest, and my birthday's in September, and I was always the youngest kid in my class. So so when they started driving, they were always older than me. But the thing is I acted older than them. I didn't have many friends. I got picked on. Jerry, good to see you. Amber. Okay. I had to learn to get beat up in the playground to find my place. Okay. It's about on the playground. That is what we call the survival of the fittest. And I was a really fast runner. All right. And then somebody would do something. I let a teacher know, oh, tough it up. You're a boy. And they did nothing about it ever. So I just quit telling on the bullies. I just stopped and accepted it for what it was because I knew that they weren't going to do anything about it. Why? Because I was a boy and you're supposed to tough it out. Tough it out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a Virgo through and through. Yeah, if I showed up for school. So And I'm not going to sit here and say how I've been victimized, because the only time you're going to be a victim in any of this is when you decide to be that way. Because right now, I'm sitting here telling you how to get through this, what to do. I'm an example of how this works. And I've done a lot of hard work with it. To this day, I still love it when people like, I've had therapists fire me too, but it wasn't a fit. It wasn't a fit, right? And I forgot where I was going with that, because we Virgos really like to talk about being Virgo. If there's one thing a Virgo likes to talk about, it is themselves. So we're also very shy, but we're also very out there. It's weird being a Virgo with mental health issues. Let's just put it out. It's interesting. It's interesting. That's because Virgos are the best in the whole world. All right, let's move on to men's mental health. We're avoiding a topic. So, what can we do? We got to start speaking up. Okay? Not only do we need to start speaking up, but then because I'm going to tell you something. I am tired of seeing posts of women talking about men's mental health. Tired of it. Not because they're women. No, has nothing to do with that. In fact, I appreciate what they're trying to do. They're trying to start a topic because they see something. They see a need and they want to help. Good on them. What I'm saying is, why isn't that a man? And that's not on women. That's not on how you were brought up. It's not on anybody else but you. You. See? You've got to take care of your own emotions. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be frustrated. That's one thing about men. We are not allowed to be frustrated without somebody making some fucking comment. Just let them be frustrated for 30 seconds. Leave them the fuck alone. Leave them alone. It's okay for them to be frustrated for a few seconds. Let them work through that emotion. Let them be. Because when you're a man and somebody says, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" After a while, yeah. And it's so you can kind of understand what I'm saying. This isn't a women-men thing. There's plenty of stuff for women out there. Sorry. I know. We're all human, but it is different being a man than it is being a woman. It is. See, each side has its trials and tribulations. And I think both sides need to understand that. That maybe, see, men, we need to understand, okay? First of all, we need to understand we're not the head of the household. Quit fucking thinking you are. You're not. Okay? I'm not. No way. Okay. It's things like, and I agree with this though. Okay. I wear the pants in the family, but my wife tells me which pair to wear. It's a we thing. In fact, the number one listener in the whole world is my wife. If it wasn't for my wife allowing me to be me, even in the worst of times, I wouldn't be here. She did not protect me from that. And that was probably the hardest fucking thing in the world. That was the hardest thing in the world for her, I bet. Okay. But guess what? I got through it. Was it torture? I tend to think that it's as hard as we decide to make it. And I decided to make it pretty hard on myself. Um, it was tough because, my anger is a big thing. And that's a great question. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. And that's a great question. If some men, because I don't want to be the only one, there you go, be kind. And I'm not saying all women do this. So remember, we're talking in generalizations here. So please don't take anything personally, because you all know I love the fuck out of you. All right? Don't put us on a pedestal. Okay? Here's one of the biggest problems that I feel, or that I see, and maybe it's not the biggest problem. Here's Dion, an over-exaggerating Virgo. Don't put us on a pedestal. It's very uncomfortable. Do we want to be your everything? Yes, we do. We do. But we can't. We can't. Gary, I think that's a great one. Just listen. Don't fix. That goes true for all of us. Men do that too. Okay. But here's the thing. Since men try and do that with women, women try to do that with men. Because they're just following a lead, right? So let's remember each other's love languages. Find out what he loves. And get him that. Trust me, you won't. Okay? If you allow him just to be a man, don't ever, ever knock his manhood. Don't knock it. Don't you dare. The worst thing you can do, okay, because this is the first thing women go to, get away from the damn penis size and making fun of it. I tell you right now, men don't like it. Okay, guess what, men? Women don't like it either. I know you're not, Amber, because you work with a lot of different people. Okay, you work with a lot of different people. So my therapist is female. Okay, I've been going to therapy for a long time. I'm better at picking a therapist and picking out alcohol. Okay, I am. I'm really good at it because I'm very aware of me. I can look inside. I've been taught this since I was very, very young. And I've always been a people watcher. Okay. Right. Now, let's also remember, men, that for women, this world's a little bit more dangerous than it is for us in everyday living. Okay. Most men die in wars. It's things. We don't need to get into that because it doesn't matter. Okay. Everything's in the past. Okay. And what men have done is we've just held it inside. You know how it goes. We hold it inside. Then one day, and what was going to be a great vacation turns into a fucking disaster because of our anger. Notice I haven't brought alcohol up. Alcohol exasperates all this stuff. I'm just talking about life. I'm talking about life. I would have to say that one really good thing that my wife did was she listened, and then she would ask, do you just need me to listen, or do you need me to talk back? Because sometimes hearing her talk back helped me. So ask. But what she did is she kind of gave me a choice. See? She gave me options. And that was great. Because it took my mind and said, oh, wait a minute. I have options here. We got it, Amber. I'm the kind of person where if you write something and it was wrong, but I knew what you meant, I don't say nothing anymore. I actually practiced at that. Because it's just, what? You knew what you were, I knew what you were saying, right? So, don't want to be the spelling Nazi guy. I'm a Virgo. Better write that shit right. Is that not pure perfection? So, what else do we need? Well, more men's meetings would be good. Yeah, yeah. Good old Facebook bullies. They're all the same. All bullies are the same. We're not going there today, though. And even then, I mean, I've been talking on this for 25 minutes. And even then, I barely even scratched the surface of anything on it. I'm just talking about my own experience and what it is that I go through. But you should be able to talk to somebody and express your emotions or your feelings without having to dump on the other person. Doesn't always work that way. Okay? At the same time, nobody wants to listen to me yell and scream. Nobody. Not even me. Okay? Doesn't get a point across. It doesn't work. So men, you're going to need to learn. You're going to need to learn. And don't, give it a try. Watch what happens. If it doesn't work, let me know and I'll write you a receipt for your misery. Okay? But even then, so yeah, I have a female therapist, and I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose. Yeah, it is. That's a great point, Amber. But it's not geared towards us. Go search it. Everything's female. It's all female. See, this is what happened. Emotional sobriety became a huge part of AA. Emotional. Yeah. Emotional. Can't handle our emotions. That fourth and fifth step is really going to tell us what's going on with us. I'm going to tell you now. For men, I already know what your number one problem is. It's anger. It's always anger. Oh, I'm not an angry man. Oh, let me have 5 minutes with you. I'm going to piss you off. Tell me you don't have anger. Okay? I'm going to live rent free in your fucking head for a week about what I'm going to do. Don't tell me shit like that. Hey, let's get rid of the, even for the women, there's a saying, pull up your big girl panties. Okay. But in a way, I get what they're saying. We have to grow up. Okay. But in order for us to grow up, we need to feel safe sharing our feelings. That's going to take a lot. Because every time we shared our feelings in the past, we got shut down. Oh, you have feelings. Let's be positive about it. Walk it off. Walk it off. It's always my parents' answer. Walk it off. And I had a hole in my shin. You can pretty much see all the way down there. Like, walk it off. I have a scar. Seriously, they were too drunk. So, all right. So, what do we need? Well, we need more men's meetings run by men, participated by men. Okay, but that comes back to all of us. All of us. Okay. And this is where recovery equity can come in. Every person deserves to have a safe space. That's why trudging together is here. Who has answers? Jordan Peterson. He has answers. I love Jordan Peterson. Write it down. Go look up Jordan Peterson. I post his stuff every now and again. You know, no stitches for you. 1 year. Right? Where you going, Seinfeld there? If you see a man hurting, as a man, go over and give him a hug. Just do it. I posted this thing the other day where a cop had pulled somebody over, and the guy was on the phone with the VA suicide hotline, and he was just breaking down. And I watched this cop do the most beautiful thing in the world. And that was just to give the man a hug and say, I'm here for you. I will sit down with you and I will listen. It tore me up. This guy, and it was it's the ugly cry, right? That ugly cry where everything just hurts so bad that you got snot running down your face and everything else. You remember those days. Okay. Well, if you don't work on your mental health, then they won't be over. And you don't need to live that life. Men, there's this beautiful, beautiful place on the other side. Okay? But it starts with us. Right? And we got to start somewhere. So I'm saying I'm putting my hand up. I'll start. There you go. Good job, Gary. It's what we need more of. Okay? And Gary, be tenacious with that. It may not take off like a women's group or something. So never ever compare. Okay? But also when we have men's meetings, can we not call them things like bullshitting? It doesn't fit. It doesn't work. All right. I'm really grateful. When you go through life and you have all this hard stuff, and I should do a lot of things. Time. I don't have the time. So, I mean, if I knew people were going to show up, I'd do it. But, that one's a little bit harder. But Gary, stick with that. Stick with that. So, I don't know. They have to put some hard thoughts into starting a men's meeting and how that looks. I have another meeting that I've committed to that I have to take care of first, and that's the one at the church. I got to take care of that one first. So that'll be 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. And it is going to be live and Zoom. I was going to say bilingual, but that's not it. No, that's not it. Only English will be spoke. I speak English and Sesame Street Spanish is what I call it. So, agua. Hybrid. Thank you, Mandy. And I don't know how long you've been here, but Mandy, thank you. What I did today was I started the room 5 minutes early. I had a little ticker saying when we were going to start. I came on and everybody was here. It worked out really well. Thank you, Mandy. And that's how I'm going to be doing it from now on. Okay. So when I go live, you got about 5 minutes. And yeah, that worked out really well. So thank you a lot. A simple solution to something I've been fucking around with for 3 years. So thank you. All right. We learned a lot here, I think. But thank you for coming. Thank you for participating and being a part of and understanding that we are all in this together. We are. So, all right. Thank you everybody for being here. There are a lot of names. I'm not going to try and name everybody off today. So, thank you. I love you. Peace out and have a day. Bye-bye.